If you've ever been kept awake at night or felt really bad about yourself because of a bad complaint that you got from a customer or some bad feedback, listen to this episode of Self-Made. I wanted to jump on here and just quickly talk about this experience I had yesterday. And to give you a bit of backstory, I started getting some clients from TikTok because my TikTok is starting to snowball and gain traction. And I thought, why not? I'll clean for some people on TikTok. Could be cool because they already know who I am and they know what I'm about. And I thought my TikTok clients would be my best clients because they know me so well and they're connected with me in a way. So I was obviously very wrong about that, and I'm going to get into that. So I went to go clean for this person from TikTok. I went and did the quote in person. It was like the first quote I'd done for someone from TikTok, and it was really strange because they were almost treating me like a celebrity. They were like telling me things about me that only very few people know, and they only know that because they've like listened to probably this podcast and like Instagram stories and stuff like that. It was just really weird. But I mean, they seemed like nice people. They said they were, not happy with other cleaners they've had in the past, and they were really happy to have me in there because they've watched my videos and they know, I've got that attention to detail and I really care about what I do. And so I booked them in for a clean. Also, before we get any further, they were paying $170 for an hour and a half of cleaning a week. Okay. So they were getting, I don't often say ripped off, but they were getting pretty ripped off. Anyway, I quoted them less than that, and I did more time for them. And so we scheduled that clean in. Things went well. I don't know. She was there while I was cleaning. She saw me cleaning. She even made comments like, "Oh wow, my previous cleaner didn't even do that before." And I was like, "Yeah, well, this is what I do." And I take pride in my work. I really do. I love what I do, and I deliver the same results that I do for any client. I treat every house like it's my own. I don't pick and choose. I don't have favorites. I just treat every house like they're the same. And so I thought I did a really good job in this place. She said thanks and see you next week when I said bye to her, and everything seemed okay. And then later that day, I just sent an email following up, asking if she was happy with everything and what her thoughts were. And I didn't hear back from her for like 48 hours. I just realized at the start of this episode, I said I did this clean yesterday. No, I did this clean a few days ago, but I got this email yesterday. Sorry, just to avoid any confusion. So I did the clean a few days ago. I sent an email that day asking for feedback and didn't hear back until last night. And so this is the email response I got from her. Hi, Jason. Haven't had a chance to reply to your email. It's been a very busy day and I've only just stopped now since this morning. Whew. Here we go. After you left, I had a look around and could see debris on the carpet. So I decided to vacuum one room and noticed quite a bit of fur came up. So I decided to do the rest of my house. And I'm honestly appalled at how much was missed. Okay? So blah, blah, blah. I was very taken aback when you said you'd finish vacuuming when I was only gone for 15 minutes and you said you were starting on the floors. It was a small house, and so it only took me 15 minutes to vacuum, which isn't anything crazy. Then it took me another 15 to 20 minutes to mop, so just over half an hour for the floors. She had a problem with that, apparently. Then she goes, that is nowhere near enough time to do a proper vacuum. There were still remnants of paw/footprints, so I mopped the floors again. Now, this is an interesting part of the email. She makes a point about how there were paw prints on the floor after I'd mopped. She had 4 animals inside the house. She had 2 kelpies that would not stop following me everywhere. Even at one point, I was cleaning the shower. I just cleaned the shower floor, and then one of the kelpies got into the shower and starts like jumping around in there, so I had to re-clean it. And I kept like getting into my cleaning bag and stuff. And I tried hinting at her like, can we just like put them outside? I was like, oh, he's in my bag again. He's in my bag again. And she's like, oh yeah, he does that. I'm like, okay, cool. Anyway, so the animals were all inside the house after I'd mopped the floor, and she knew that, and for some reason still makes a point about it in the email. So whatever, that's cool. And then, sorry, you can probably hear an ambulance going past my apartment right now. Anyway, She continues on and says, so I mopped the floors and the mop water was brown, which again should not be the case if the floors were done properly and thoroughly. Again, if you mop a floor 5 times, it will continue to be brown. Like if you mop a floor and then wipe it with a paper towel, it's still going to come up dirty. You can't fully clean a floor unless you have like a high pressure scrubber. Anyway, so she says that. She says there are streaks left all over the shower doors, fridge, microwave, and rear glass doors, which that would be a gross exaggeration if there were streaks. I'd check everything before I leave. There were no streaks. Maybe she saw them in a different lighting and there were a couple, but definitely not enough for someone to be this upset about. Either way, I would have been happy to go back and fix it, but whatever. And then she continues, she says, while I was happy with some things, I was more unhappy than happy. And she said, I spent 4 hours redoing the entire house because it wasn't done properly. So I'm very sore today and quite disappointed. Okay, so she spent 4 hours redoing a 2-hour clean. That's interesting. And she goes on, I understand having OCD means I have a high standard of cleaning, so it can be difficult to meet these standards, but I'm very understanding and patient and don't expect anybody but myself to reach those standards. I've had 6 different cleaners for my family over the last 10 years, and not once have I had this happen. She says, I've attached photos of you to see, and it was just photos of like a vacuum with dog hair in it and the mop water, which was brown. And she says, it's really disappointing and not acceptable, especially when I see your videos online being so detailed and thorough. I was expecting that level of clean. Again, I did the exact same clean for her that I do for anyone. So, oh man. She says, sorry to carry on. I'm feeling overwhelmed by having to redo everything. I'm not trying to be rude or condescending, just giving my honest opinion. I issued just a short response and said, I did the same clean for your house that I've done for thousands of other cleans. I filled up an entire vacuum bag with dog hair. It would have been the same if I had vacuumed the floors another 5 times. Same with the mopping. I take pride in my work and took care of your home like I do any other. And I never received feedback like this before. And so I just said, I'll discount your clean 50% and thank you and all the best. And she replied again. And she said, this is a very long email that she replied to my response. I'll just try to pick a few things from it. And she said, being defensive and saying you could fill a bag 5 times over is quite rude, considering it's far from the truth. It isn't. What else? She said, yes, of course, I was appalled when I saw how much was missed. There really wasn't much missed, so that's very strong wording to use. And what else did she say? She said something else. I'm trying to find it in this email. Anyway. Oh, she said, yeah, this is the first time this has ever happened, so I don't really appreciate your defensive comments. I wasn't trying to be defensive in my response. I was just a bit taken aback because I've never had something like that happen before. Certainly wasn't expecting it from a TikTok client. And I just felt really upset about it because, like I said, I do really care about the cleaning I do and I take a lot of pride in my work. So it's very upsetting when you get emails like this. And I guess I'm just trying to get on here and give you some reassurance that when you get feedback like this, it happens to everyone. Like it even happens to me, okay? If you took that email out of context and showed it to anyone, they would think I'm like the worst cleaner ever because she was using words like appalled and not acceptable, right? Very, very strong wording. And so it's very easy to look at feedback like that and get really upset and disheartened and not want to do it anymore. But it literally happens to the best of us. It happens. I've been doing this for 4 years. I've got some of the best reviews that any business could have. I've got hundreds of 5-star reviews. I've got people who love my cleaning. But I still do get complaints from time to time. And apparently I also get really bad complaints. I get people who hate my work and are appalled by it. And so next time you get a complaint, don't let it ruin your day. At least try not to, because it's really just not worth your energy. I mean, this one, I was thinking about this for a couple of hours last night. She sent that email around 8 or 9 p.m. And I was just like lying in bed thinking about it. I was like, I really like busted my ass in that house, and I was doing great work for her, or so I thought. I do the same clean in her house that I did for any of my other clients, and it's just like a slap in the face when you get an email like that. And it can be easy to jump in there and just get defensive and try to accuse the client of whatever, which is apparently what I did, but I don't know. I didn't really feel like I did that. I was just trying to level with her and try to reason with her. And so the best thing you can do with people like this is just get rid of them. Oh, I found the part of the email that really irked me that I was trying to find. So she said in her email, I intentionally put things in positions to see if you'd vacuum properly, which is just like, oh. So before I even went in there, she was like setting up traps for me, which I just hate. Okay. I don't even know what they are, because I did like vacuum under a lot of stuff, like, bins and baskets and things. So, oh man, that's just the worst. Anyway, it's really easy to get disheartened by feedback like that. I know it happens to a lot of people, and it doesn't really get talked about a lot. So I'm just trying to spark some conversation and, try not to hide it, because it does happen, and it feels like you're really alone when it happens too, right? Especially if it's just you cleaning and you don't have staff. It just sucks, doesn't it? But look, it happens. There's not one cleaner out there that doesn't get complaints. Even me, I get complaints, but usually they're small things and you can go back and fix them and the client's happy. But times like this, it's just a huge slap in the face, and it makes you not want to do what you do anymore. But just keep doing what you do. Don't let this stuff phase you. It's going to happen. You can't do much about it. There's going to be people out there that have really different expectations and values and stuff to you, and it's just impossible to please everyone. So keep doing great work, and don't let people like this ruin your day, because it's not worth your time or energy. Just try to be diplomatic about it. Give them a discount or a free clean if it is actually a bad clean, but give them a discount. Just try not to get a bad review. Try to diffuse the situation, and then put it behind you. Don't deal with that person again. It's bad energy. You don't want that in your business. So yeah, I just thought I'd jump on here and share that with you, because that email really rattled me, man. I was in bed just like thinking about it for hours, and I don't usually get fazed by stuff, but it just rattled me really. So yeah, it sucks when you love what you do and you put in the hard work for someone and they do that to you. So yeah, don't get fazed by complaints. Don't worry about them. Everyone gets them. Focus on the good and not the bad, because I can let this one bad instance get to me, but then I look at all my other good reviews and phone calls and text messages and emails from clients who love me, and that's what makes it all worth it. This stuff is just going to plague your mind. So push it to the side, put it behind you as quick as you can, and move on. All right. So yeah, I hope you found that funny like I did. And just for the record, I'm not a bad cleaner. Okay, the stuff you see on TikTok is actually me cleaning. That's how I do that in every house. So just thought I'd set the record straight. But yeah, everyone gets complaints. You can't do much about them. Just don't let it get to your head. All right. Thanks for listening to another episode of Self Made. I'll see you again in the next episode.